Go.
Hello, Langley Christian School. It's week 3 of having school at home. And this week you're going to have one story that's about a 100-year-old barn, and it's a brand new story. But today I'm going to also read you a story about, it's called Emma's, well, it's not called Emma's Eggs, it's called Emma and the Coyote. And we have a poster at school on our ceiling for both of these books, Emma's Eggs and Emma and the Coyote, and they both won our Picture Book Award in 2 different years. And some of you will also remember that Margaret Ruurs came to visit our school. So that's why this seemed to be a good story to tell. And I thought I would tell this story outside of our chicken coop here. You can see the chickens behind me. One of them is, actually, we call our chicken coop the chick-in. And I thought I would show you the word, how we spell it. Chick-in. The in for our chickens. And we actually have names for our chickens. The rooster, we always have a rooster. And the rooster's name has always been Aaron. We have a nephew named Aaron. And so we always decided that the rooster would be named Aaron. But we also have a niece named Erin, and she's a girl. And so all our hens are always called Aarons. So whether we have 2 hens or 5 hens, or like right now we have 14 hens, 15 hens, they're all called Aarons. And our Aarons actually lay us a lot of eggs. And so last night we collected all of these eggs, and they are like golden globes. They're so beautiful, and when they're just laid, they're warm and they're clean. But look at this huge egg that we got this morning. And there's a good chance that there's actually 2 egg yolks in here. It's like twins inside this egg. And there's Posh the cat again. So this seemed like a good spot to read one of our stories that have a poster up on the roof, on the ceiling of the library. So this is called Emma and the Coyotes. And you'll notice in this chicken coop that the wire goes right to the ground, and it goes quite high, and that's because we have had coyotes come through our chicken coop before. A couple of winters ago, every night they would take a chicken away. So in the end, instead of 15 chickens, we had like 4 chickens, and we had to rebuild the chicken coop. So that's what this story is about. Emma and the Coyote by Margaret Ruurs, illustrated by Barbara Spurll. Emma fitted on her nest like a lid on a cookie jar. She was daydreaming with all the other chickens in the coop. Outside, the rooster kept watch over 10 dandelion chickens. Suddenly, Emma heard the farmer's voice. "You keep a close eye on those chicks, fella," he said. "There has been a coyote close by. Too close for comfort." Emma went outside, blinking in the bright sunlight. She watched the farmer fix a hole in the fence. He pulled the wires tight and nailed them to a post. "Tuck," said Emma. "That won't keep us safe from the coyote." When the farmer left, Emma stuffed sticks of straw into the holes in the wire. The next day, Emma was scuttling in the garden. She ran around radishes, she munched on marigolds, and picked bugs off beets. She was just about to snap at a grasshopper when the rooster yelled, "Cock-a-doo! Cock-a-doo-doo-doo!" And then he sprinted for the chicken coop. Emma looked up and saw a bushy tail on the other side of the garden. All the other chickens scurried away as fast as they could, but not Emma. Emma ran to the house and hopped onto the apple crate under the kitchen window. She jumped up and down, up and down, up and down. "Why, it's Emma," the farmer's wife cried. "She's bouncing like a ball." The farmer's wife ran outside and spotted the coyote sneaking closer. She picked up a stone and hurled it. The coyote ran away. "Good girl, Emma," said the farmer's wife, "but you watch out. Coyotes are smarter than chickens." "Chuck," said Emma. She walked back to the chicken coop with her beak in the air. The following afternoon, Emma and the other chickens were looking for good things to eat in the pig pen. Emma wrestled with worms and picked at potato peels. She was just gobbling up some corn when she heard a loud commotion. The pigs snorted, the rooster crowed, the chickens clucked after him as he darted inside the coop. But not Emma. Emma made herself invisible and waited. In no time at all, she saw 2 pointed ears gliding toward the chicken coop. Without making a sound, Emma picked up a stone and hurled it. The stone hit the side of the barn. The farmer's children looked up and saw the coyote's tail disappearing around the corner. And then they saw Emma. "Good girl, Emma," they cheered. "But you better watch out. Coyotes are smarter than chickens." "Tock, tock, 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 tock," Emma clucked. The next morning, the coyote came back. This time, Emma spied him in the orchard, where the other chickens were eating bugs under the cherry trees. Emma raced over, wings flapping. "Tock, tock, tock, tock," she shouted. She made such a racket that the rooster and the chickens dashed away. But not Emma. Emma hid behind a tree trunk and stood still. Then she hurried to another tree. She zigzagged left and she zigzagged right, from one tree to another, until the coyote wasn't sure where she was anymore. He twitched his nose and sniffed the air. He came closer than closer, right to the tree where Emma was hiding. He licked his lips. Just when Emma had nowhere to run, she heard the farmer's children ask, "Is that a chicken by the cherry tree?" "It's Emma," gasped the farmer's wife. She flung a stick at the coyote, who ran away. "Emma, Emma," the farmer's wife panted, "you better watch out. Coyotes are definitely smarter than chickens." At that very moment, Emma had nothing to say. Not even one tiny little talk. The farmer knew the coyote would get the chicken sooner or later, so he brought home a trap. If he could catch the coyote, he would take him far away from the farm and set him free far in the woods. The farmer placed the trap under the magnolia tree. No sooner was the trap set than Emma went to check it out. The other chickens were afraid to go near it, but not Emma. Emma fluttered into the lower limbs of the magnolia tree. She sat there waiting on a swaying branch. The sun was warm. Emma began to daydream. She pretended to be a giant magnolia blossom. She didn't even notice the coyote creep into the yard. And the coyote didn't see that giant magnolia either. He smelled the grass, sniffed the tree trunk. Emma teetered back and forth, trying to hold on to her branch. Then the coyote spotted the trap. It smelled good. There was food inside. He was a little suspicious. He would not step inside. Coyotes are too smart for that. Suddenly the wind picked up, and Emma's branch swayed even more. She lost her balance. A huge, feathery, flapping, clucking magnolia blossom tumbled out of the tree. It landed on the coyote and pecked him on the backside. The coyote yelped and jumped forward, straight into the trap, and slam! Everyone heard the noise and came running. "All right, Emma," they cried. Other chickens would have been flustered, but not Emma. Emma fluffed herself up and looked down her beak at the coyote. And then on legs that did tremble just a little, she marched past the rooster, past the chickens, past the 10 dandelion baby chicks, and went inside the chicken coop. Emma settled on her nest for a well-earned rest. Soon dreams of bugs and beetles and feathery magnolia blossoms floated in her head. "Tock, tock, tock, tock," she clucked as she heard the farmer, the farmer's wife, and the farmer's children all talking outside. Well, what do you know, they had to admit. Some chickens are smarter than coyotes. And that was the perfect story to read to you this week. And if you like that story and you remember the other ones, this one's Emma's Eggs. And it's the one about Easter eggs, the Easter eggs that get painted. That's a good story. And then this one is about when Emma goes to the fair and she has no chance of winning a prize until she finally wins a prize for laying the most beautiful egg. And this one, the last one that Margaret Ruurs wrote about Emma, is Emma's Cold Day. And in this one, Emma comes to the farmer's door to remind him that he forgot to turn the heater on. And it's only because Emma reminded the farmer about the heat that he remembered to go back to the hen house and put the heat on during the storm. So you might have noticed that these are actually stories for all the seasons. There's a winter story, a spring story, a summery story, and then finally the fall story. So I hope you enjoyed that story about Emma's eggs. And this one, you don't even have to do anything. Maybe you just want to have some eggs for lunch or something like that.